Who is the greatest goal scorer of all time? I think a good way to measure that is by looking at the goals per game. And I know you're going to see on this list that maybe not everything agrees quite with that, but I think the number one, and you might know who that is already. It's not a big secret. And obviously, some of you have probably looked all this up already. So, but I think, yeah, the number one player I do believe is the greatest goal scorer of all time. But we're going to look at the list based off of statistics. So statistically, to find out if you're just going off of statistics who the best goal scorer of all time is, goals per game is a very good one to look at. I haven't really gone into the advanced stats sort of area of the internet, I guess. I don't know, of looking stuff up that way, but goals per game is still a very good stat because it shows you who made the most of goal scoring, of being the best goal scorer with the time that they were given. Who made the best out of that time? And I also think too, like, different eras, like, they had different technology, they had different training and stuff. So who was the best of their time? This will also show us who's the best goal scorer of their time. And but I still think number one is the best all time. So, but this is again statistical video, and I'll show you the statistics. Who is the top 10 goals per game? Number 10 is Tim Kerr. Did you expect that? I did not when I made this list. But yeah, overall great goal scorer. 370 goals in 655 games, .565 or 565 goals per game. That's his average. And yeah, great goal scorer, Tim Kerr. Not someone you think of when you think of goal scorers, unless you know this list very well. But yeah, Tim Kerr up there. Number 9 is number 9, and someone who you would definitely expect on this list. It's Bobby Hull. 610 goals in 1,063 games played, and more impressive, I think, than what Tim Kerr did, just because Hull did it over a very long period of time, or maybe not a very long, but a long period of time, and came out with 0.574 goals per game average. And right after Hull, at number 8, we have another Hull, his son, Brett Hull, who has more goals than his dad, who played longer than his dad, at least in the NHL. Hull did play a lot in the WHA, so perhaps he actually did play more professional games. But as in terms of NHL, we're going by NHL. 741 goals for Brett Hull, 1,269 games played. So 741 in 1269 gives you .548 or 584, sorry, goals per game average for Brett Hull, and so he is number 8. And at number 7, we have the great one, the greatest of all time. Maybe not the greatest goal scorer of all time, but still one of them, because he has the most goals of all time in a very lot of games. He has the most games played out of anybody on here, and he still managed to hold up a .601 average. So unreal stuff by Wayne Gretzky, as you would expect, because he is the most famous hockey player of all time, and he is the best hockey player of all time. Yeah, he is. And so yeah, he is number 6 on this list. He may not be the highest in terms of goals per game, he may not be the all-time greatest goal scorer, but he is number 7 on this list, and I think he would. I'd probably rank him higher anyway for best goal scorer of all time. He would be in the top 5 for sure. Great player, and not known necessarily as a sniper, but he could do it all. He could snipe. I don't know what his two-way game was like, but who knows? Offensively, though, he could do it all. He was the smartest player out there. He could score. He could snipe. He could also play make. That's what I was trying to say there. He was a great playmaker. And we all know that. So let's just move on to number 6. Alex Ovechkin. Our only present-day player is Alex Ovechkin. And, yeah, 730 goals in his 1,197 games. Oh, I messed that up. I put assists. But games played. Think of that as games played. 1,197 games played. .610 goals per game average. And yeah, in the last decade, in the last 15 years, he has been the best goal scorer in the game, for sure. And maybe players become that, even McDavid. McDavid, similar to Gretzky, is not just known for goal scoring, right? But McDavid could, become that. And maybe Matthews, who knows? He had a great year this year. But for now, the last 15 years, Ovi has been the best goal scorer in the league. And he is 6th all-time in goals per game average. And you can debate whether he's the 6th best goal scorer all-time or not. But he is one of the best. So, absolutely. Alexander Ovechkin being on this list, no surprise. And being the only active player on this list. And the only player that's played within the last... since 2005? Yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah, Brett Hull, and then another guy on here played in 2005. But yeah, that's when Ovechkin was starting, and since then he has been the best. So, number 5, personal favorite here, Pavel Bure, great Canucks player. 437 goals in 702 games played, .623 goals per game average. Again, he didn't play as much games as some of the others here, which maybe hurts in a way, because if he had played longer, would he have done what some of these others have done? Not sure. I think his knees are what ended his career. His knees had a lot of problems, I think, or maybe just one bad problem. Either way, the problem was bad with his knee or knees, and he ended up retiring pretty early on, after a short stint with the Rangers. But no matter if he would have dropped off a little bit, if he had a longer career or not, he is still an amazing goal scorer. I still think he's one of the best goal scorers of all time, for sure. And yeah, again, with the time that he was given, he definitely used it well and scored a lot. So yeah, great job for Pavel. And then the next two are the ones that kind of are a little iffy, because they come from back in the day when goalies, I don't think, could fall down. They had to stand up, and I'm not sure about when exactly the backward passing rule changed, but pretty sure these guys were part of that. And so, first off, they're great players, I should say. They are great players. They dominated their era in terms of goal scoring. They maybe weren't the best of their era, but as far as goal scoring goes, they were. And so that is Babe Dye as number 1. He's part of actually the very first ever Chicago Blackhawks team. So if you're a Chicago Blackhawks fan, that was one of the first players you ever had. He was part of that very first Blackhawks team. But anyway, he's more known for his for playing for the Toronto St. Pats when the Leafs were the St. Pats. So there's that. But yeah, wonderful player, great player, amazing player. 203 goals in 272 games, .746 goals per game. Just shows you, yeah, for his time, he was one of the best. And then also from his time, from the very first season of the NHL, we have Cy Denny, who played with the Ottawa Senators and then had 1 year with the Boston Bruins way back. 247 goals in 329 games, .751 goals per game average. Great players. Should they be in the top 10 goal scorers of all time? I don't know if that's the case, but you know what? They're here. And for what they did in the time that they were given and with whatever equipment they were given, that's definitely not even close to our standards today of like the NHL and certain things. They did the best for what they had. They really did. And so yeah, good stuff by Cy Identity and Babe Die for sure. And then we have two more recent people for sure at number 2 and number 1, and that is Mario Lemieux. Unbelievable. I know his career was interrupted so many times, but he made the most when he was on the ice, made the most of it. Unbelievable stuff. .754 goals per game average, 690 goals in 915 games. And also he had it's not even just that, right? Like, you're saying, oh man, he is an amazing goal scorer, and I mean, we all know that he's not just that, but when you look at this, you're like, wow, goal scorer. But he didn't play 1,000 games, and he had over 1,000 assists as well. Just amazing stuff. Mario Lemieux. And in first place, we have, and you might have expected it, Mike Bossy, part of the unbelievable New York Islanders dynasty that won 4 cups in a row, made the finals again after that, and 573 goals, 752 games that he did that in, and .762 goals per game average. He is the best all-time goal scorer. I will 100% say that. I think he definitely is. If he had been healthy, I don't see why he couldn't have racked up more. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I do think. I mean, who knows, really? Like, maybe Lemieux would be higher up if Bossy kept playing, and maybe his numbers and his average would drop down more. But yeah, I still think that's an unreal number. I still think he's the best. Well, of course it's an unreal number, but I still think he's the best goal scorer of all time. I really do. And arguably the best player on the Islanders during that time, although you could say Potvin as well. But anyway, good stuff. And there is your top 10 players of all time in terms of goals per game. And it may not be exactly who the top 10 goal scorers are, but it gives you a very good idea of who they are. And yeah, it's pretty good stuff there. You've at least got, the top 5 best on here. Yeah, so good stuff anyway. So yeah, that's it.